Does it also have to be that the food is deteriorating the longer it's getting on the fire, or is it improving while it's on the fire? Meaning to say, the allowance that when the Chachamim say it has to be fully cooked, in order for you to leave food before Shabbat on that stove, does it also have to be that the food is make veralo? It's diminishing as the more cooking, it's getting smaller. It's shriveling. It's getting smaller, morning asaf. But is it also improving? So we saw there is opinion before that says that if it's improving, it would be a problem. It has to be that it's not improving while it is on the stove. So therefore, if it's not improving, the rabbis are not concerned you're going to come to stoke it. But if it's improving, we're afraid you might come to stoke it. So here we have a middle of the line.
How is the rabbi not concerned that you won't stoke it if it's 50% cooked? What is he relying on?
Right, Hananiah's opinion is the fact that it's already edible to eat. You're not so you're not your desire for the food is it's reached a certain level, so we're not afraid that you're going to be feeling the pressure to rush something. When you feel the pressure of something which is not, it's only like less than that amount, it's not even edible, so you feel the pressure more, and you might and you lose yourself, you forget more. But when it's
So 50% he's considering it, you could eat it, so no one's gonna worry.
no one's as rushed. If we look at the commentary over here, let's see if they makes any. Right, he says we're not afraid that you're going to come to stoke it to hurry up the cooking, since it's already edible. Yeah, that seems to be the reason that's given. So that it's already edible, so you're not your mind is already at ease a little bit on the food. You're not as concerned. When you're more concerned about the food, when it's not edible, when Shabbat came and you need it for tonight and you want to eat it for tonight, so then you're more focused on the food. And if you're more focused you're on the food, the more you might come to stoke the food. That's the logic. But the Chachamim say, yeah, that's not good enough. The fact that it's edible, but you want it to be fully cooked, and maybe you're going to, and if they're concerned, you might come to stoke it. So you said, Mark, in your question, the fact you asked that question, you understand the Chacham's opinion very well, right? Why it has to be fully cooked before Shabbat. And then there's a next level, even if it is fully cooked, but if the more it cooks, it enhances it. So are we, the halacha, the strict opinion would say that's also a problem. You can't leave food that's going to be enhanced, even though it's fully cooked on the fire before Shabbat, because again, you're going to be afraid that you're going to come to stoke those coals. Taking a look at another commentary over here, if they add anything more. Let's see. Yes, Hananiah Chavav. Yes, he says you're not so particular about the food. They add one point. Since it's already edible, so you're not so particular about the food. We're not so concerned. And someone adds that since it's already edible by the time Shabbat came, without stoking it, so it's good. It's by the time it's time for you to eat, it's already going to be ready without you have to do it. You don't have to do anything to it. Meaning to say, it's on a great course. It's already on the great course without you don't have to pay attention to it. So you stoke something that that needs your help, right? But so that's the opinion of the Rush says the name of the Gaon, that it's going to cook. It's going to be cooked by itself without you involved with it. It's already edible before the Shabbat comes. So that explains that opinion. But the Chachamim say they're still concerned. Now comes this third opinion and says if it's fully cooked, even if it's being enhanced, it's all right. You can leave it on the fire. That's going to be now. That's the opinion we're coming to learn right now. So that we are on 37b. Good morning, Adam. Okay, let's get to find a place in the English version. 37b. B2, top right column. Omer Rab Shmuel Bar Yehuda Omer Rab Yochanan. Kira shesikua begefet ube'itzim. So let's say we have this stove that was heated with, let's say, materials that give off heat. Let's say like wood, fire, firewood. So you have a top right corner, 37b2. Good morning, Asaf. You could leave on that fire food that was fully cooked, with chamin, a liquid that was shuchma called sarkan, is also heated to its full need. Even if it is improving, it's getting enhanced the more it's cooking, meaning a cholent that's fully cooked, this opinion would hold that you would be allowed to leave it on the fire, even though the longer it's cooking, it's improving. That is the opinion of this opinion. Shulchan Aruch doesn't seem to go that way, meaning to say the Shulchan Aruch.
Who said that?
This is a new opinion.
It's not Chazanya.
Say it again.
It's not Chazanya.
Right, it's not Chananya. Chananya says it only has to be half cooked. It has to only be ready to be eaten, even if it's not fully cooked. And it's not the other opinion that we said that.
This is not Chachamim either.
This could be the Chachamim. You see, it's not clear what the Chachamim say. You can't. It has to be fully cooked. But it's not clear.
You talk about improving it after it's fully
right. It seems like the Chachamim don't. It's not clear in the Chachamim's opinion if they hold that it needs to be only if it's only if it's not being enhanced or not. That's the rabbis. The later rabbis are commentating in that. So according to Shmuel Rabbi Yehuda, this opinion, Rabbi Yochanan holds like the Chachamim, that it has to be fully cooked, but regarding if it's being enhanced, it's still fine. So it seems, I don't know that we saw the Chachamim went on record anywhere that says that it can't be enhancing while it's fully cooked. But we have different opinions in the later rabbis in whether it has to also be getting worse while the longer it's cooking, it's deteriorating, or whether it is improving. So that's the Gemara over here. So now the Gemara says, so one of the rabbis said to Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda, Haravu Shmuel, the Omrit Havayu, Rav Shmuel, that they both say, Mitzamek v'yafalo asur, that if it's improving, I just want to say, I was saying before in Shulchan Aruch, it seems like they just bring the two opinions. Either you're strict like that, you either hold lenient like Hananya, that is, once it's edible to be eaten, you can leave it on a 50% cooked, you can leave it on the fire, or you hold like the Chachamim, that it has to be fully cooked, and also it's deteriorating, it's not getting better. But here, this is the middle opinion that says as long as it's fully cooked, even if it's improving, it's fine to leave it there. So Amar Hu Rabbanan, Rav Shmuel, Rabbi Huda, Harav Shmuel. Rav Shmuel, Damrit Havayu, they both say, Mitztamik v'yafalo asur. They say that if it's improving, it's forbidden. So, this rabbi was thought that Rav Shmuel Rabbi Yehuda is giving his own opinion. He thought that Rav Shmuel Rabbi Yehuda he didn't hear that he was saying in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. That's how some commentaries explain, as if he was saying it in his own name. And this person was not on a caliber, let's say, that would argue on Rav Shmuel. So therefore, he shoots back at him. You're saying that you can leave food on a fire even if it's fully cooked, even if it's improving. But you know what, Rav Shmuel, that they both say you can't do that. Stamik v'yafalo asur. You have it as we're on 37D, right? The right column, B2, the right column, the middle paragraph. So he said to him, I know that. Amalei atulet anayada. I don't know that Rav and Shmuel hold that if it's improving, it's a problem. Even if it's fully cooked, you can't leave it there before Shabbat. I know the Amr Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Huda, Shmuel. I know that Shmuel said that. Islamic v'yafalo asur. That if it's improving, it's forbidden. Hikamin when I said to you that you could leave food on a fire before Shabbat on an open flame when it's 100% cooked, even though it's being enhanced, even though the food is improving, that's Rabbi Yochanan Kamina. I was saying that according to Rabbi Yochanan. I was just saying Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. Amalei, and therefore I'm not making. I have a right to say that opinion. I have a right to quote that opinion. Amalei, it's not that I said this a law on my own, and I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't take on Rav Shmuel. I'm saying in the Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan could take on Rav Shmuel. Amalei Rav Ukva b'Mishal Rav Ashi. Atun, he says to Rav Ashi, Atun. Meshan was a country that was near Babylon. So he says to Rav Ashi, Atun dimekaravitu, you, the people of Bavel, that are close to Rav Shmuel, you live near Rav Shmuel. Avidu, good morning, Mark. Avidu, you should act like Rav Shmuel. Avidu Rav Shmuel. You who close to Rav Shmuel, you should avidu to Rav Shmuel. You should follow the opinion of Rav Shmuel, because you see, if that's the custom in your place, right? Your place has established the custom following that rabbi, even if it's a stringency, right? But you should follow the custom of that place. But Anan, but we meaning we don't live in that place. We live in a place near Bavel, near Babylon. Let's say we're a country next door, so to speak. So we who do not have such an established custom to follow the stringency regarding the food before Shabbat, Navad Rabbi Yochanan. We have the ability to go like Rabbi Yochanan, who says the in between, fully cooked, and even if it's being enhanced. Okay, so that would be, so we see on record that we have two opinions here. One opinion says depending on the custom of your place, but really the main law is like Rabbi Yochanan, that you could be lenient once it's fully cooked, right? But so this opinion would say that you can't have food that's not fully cooked, but depending on your custom, is whether it also has to be deteriorating as well. Amalei Abaye Rabbi Yosef. So now Abaye says to Rabbi Yosef, later rabbis, Mahu Leshot. what's the law regarding leaving food on a fire before Shabbat? Meaning, we want to know what the halacha is. Can I leave food on Shabbat before Shabbat on a stove that they did not that the fire wasn't covered? Right, the old question, right? Meaning, some understand the Gemara's question that he wants to know who does the law follow? Like the follow the Chachamim. We've had such a long discussion, a lot going on. It's a very every week question. Can we leave food on a fire, which is only 50% cooked, like Hananya, or do we have to have it fully cooked? And does it have to be fully cooked? Does it have to be also deteriorating or not? So this is all part of his question. So Amalei, so Rabbi Yosef says, you know what? I observed the practice of a great rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda. We know Rabbi Yehuda's house. We know they leave food on the stove before Shabbat. The food is not fully cooked from before Shabbat, or it's possible it is fully cooked, but it's still being enhanced, meaning it's not fully cooked and deteriorating. It's at least either it's not clear in the Gemara. Does it mean in this house they went ahead and they used fully cooked food even if it was enhancing, or he was even not fully cooked at all, just rare. And he says, Rabbi Yosef Mashul V'achel, they leave on the stove that the fire is not covered, right? The fire is covered. There's no question you can leave food at any stage. We saw it, right? The fire is covered, but Rabbi Yehuda Mashul V'achel, they leave for him and he eats from it. And if he's eating from the rabbi's eating from it, that means it's fine to go ahead and leave it there from before Shabbat, even though it's improving, or even though maybe it's only 50%. You can't prove from Rabbi Yehuda. Why? The kiva the mesukan who, since he's sick, he has a sickness that he needs to have the food, sieges, whatever type of sickness he has. He has to have hot food. Afilu b'Shabbat navi shari l'mevedlei. Even on Shabbat, they would be able to go ahead and do it for him on Shabbat because he's in sakana. So therefore, the fact that they allowed that the fire should be uncovered, and he needed it. He needed it for his. It was a question of sakana. And therefore, meaning, okay. Say it again. Someone who's not? Okay. So they bring right. Right. Because some have a text in the Gemara. See, our text we have Kivan de Mesukanu. Mesukan means he's in danger, sakana, like sakana nefashot, right? His life's in danger, so therefore you'll be able to even cook for him on the Shabbat. But some have a text, not mitsukan, mitsunan. Mitsunan means cold, like I said, like chills, morning. The fact that you tell me that he has the chills, he wasn't sick. He wasn't sick in danger of life, but he was sick. It was a certain amount of level of sickness, and he was a very old man, and therefore that's why that's an allowance. The Gemara says, and therefore therefore this rabbinic law of not leaving, even if you would hold, you wouldn't be able to leave the food before the Shabbat for him. He would be able to go ahead and but for his sickness, they allowed to do that. So the Gemara says,
So what they're saying here now, but that was chills, even though he didn't have second,
but
he just had chills.
right, but still,
He was allowed to warm food on a direct flame.
before
Shabbat.
he was allowed to do it. Right, you could even he was allowed to do it. You're allowed to do it.
Himself.
Right, but he's
Not Shabbat.
right. So therefore, before Shabbat, they're allowed to go ahead and put the food on. What did they see was done? They saw that was done. That before Shabbat, they put up food for the rabbi. And the Gemara says, since he had the chills, even on Shabbat itself, he would be able to tell the guy to warm up the food for him. So therefore, before Shabbat, you have a right to go ahead and therefore they were lenient before Shabbat on the circumstance that he could go ahead and put up the food even. Again, they put again. What did they, what did they when did they put up the food for him? They put up the food before Shabbat. What they're saying, the point is they had a right, meaning the Gemara is illustrating what you can't prove from Rabbi Yehuda, because even for Rabbi Yehuda, since he had the chills and that type of sickness, that even though it's not danger of life, you would even on Shabbat itself, you would have the right to do it. Certainly before Shabbat, the rabbi, if you could tell a guy to go ahead and do that on the Shabbat itself, then on Shabbat you can't have a Jew light the fire to heat it up. But since you could go ahead. Shabbat to warm up the food for him on Shabbat. Before Shabbat, exactly. That's what the Gemara is saying. Therefore, that's why you could do it. But it's not a proof to someone who's well, someone who doesn't have it doesn't suffer from these chills. It's not a. Okay. Yes, I spoke to Haron. He said that there's a certain piece that they're waiting for. That's why it's a little. Okay, now some people, if you're cold a little bit, but I'm just telling you that if the room gets a little cold here in the morning, they're waiting for a certain piece. Okay, so that's what I said. The Gemara says, but a healthy person, good morning, Boker Tov. But a healthy person, the Gemara is saying, how do you know? We can't prove from the story. So how do we know? How do we know what the halacha will be? We're discussing leaving food on a flame before Shabbat at 50% cooked. Can you leave it on the flame or not? Because there's an opinion, Hananya says you can't leave it on the flame. Chamsei has to be fully cooked in order to leave it on an open flame. And even in the Chachamim, there's different opinions that have to be also deteriorating the food. So therefore, since it's deteriorating, you're not afraid you're going to come to stoke the coals. Meaning the longer it's cooking, it's getting less and it's not improving. It's taken away. Or as long as it's fully cooked, if it's improving like a cholent, still we're afraid you might come to okay. If it's improving, either we're afraid you can stoke it or you're not going to stoke it. That's the question when you have food that's fully cooked on a flame before Shabbat. Can you leave it there if the food is improving, even though it's already fully cooked when you placed it on the fire? So we have two opinions of that. And we have the third opinion that says that even if it's not fully cooked, even if it's 50% cooked, just ready to be eaten when you're putting on the fire, like Michael ben Drusai, the famous bandits. Michael ben Drusai, those are the people that were bandits, and they would eat food. What do you call it? Rare, as long what's its first level of availability. So therefore, that's how you would be able to go ahead and put food on the fire. Once it's already reached that level, so maybe we're not afraid you're going to come to stoke it. So we're on 37b3, as Adam said.
The same way you said it, some people like their food like the bottom of the children's burn or something. And then you came back and said, it's according to you. It says, you like it burnt, and doing that on Shabbat is food is asur.
Not only, but if you like it burnt, therefore we're afraid you might come to stoke it. And therefore,
I don't want to eat burnt. I like my meat well done. That goes into the same bucket. You're telling me now if it's 50% cooked, it's probably rare. Probably rare. I happen to like my meat rare, but that's not the point. If I like my meat well done and it was 50% cooked, only rare, come to stoke the coals to get it to be well done.
Right, so we saw that the Rosh, I think, is one of the Rishonim say that really it will reach your, if you don't do anything with it, the fact that it was already 50% before Shabbat, without you even doing anything, it will reach the cooking without you. That's one understanding of that.
If I like it well done,
Not like they say it's not going to reach it, right?
I'm not gonna reach it. The same way, I'm only relying on the concept of it gets better if I like it burnt. And if I like it burnt, I may stoke it, get it burnt. It's the same way if I stoke it to get it burnt, I can stoke it to get it past rare. So 50% done is surely rare. So now, why am I worried about someone stoking it to get it well done? I mean burnt. But I'm not worried about the guy stoking it to get it more cooked.
Yeah, so you're 100% right. If we're worried about the opinion that says that you're worried about when it's fully cooked, you can't place it on the fire if it's improving, definitely would hold.
Improving is subjective.
And right, if it's right, better for me,
But for me, not for you.
right? So that they would definitely hold you can't put it on 50%. That's no question, right? You're 100% right. If you can't put it on 100% cooked, then certainly you can't put it on 50% cooked, right? But what Mark is, I think what Mark is saying is a different. I think you're going off to a different point. That for me, what might be called the needs of the cooking that I need might be needs of cooking that other people need. So will we say that, meaning to say, when we say fully cooked,
Or improving.
right? So now, if to the world, so again, if we say to me it's improving, right? If to me, when I put it on, even if it's fully cooked, to me this is improving. The more crispy and the more, so then according to that logic, if we hold it has to be deteriorating, it's not deteriorating. What was it? What is it? When I put it on before the Shabbat, where is it at? Is it
According to the law or according to you?
according to me? So if according to me it's still being enhanced, so that should be a problem. But according to the rest of the world, they say no, this is fine. It's not being enhanced. So then that's called it's deteriorating. That's fine. To be able to put
You're not, you should go according to.
you have to go. You seem like it's about yourself, right? But if it's all about, it seems like it's all about you. In life, you usually have to think about other people, but here it's about you. Whether it's called, it's being enhanced, it's better, it's getting better for you. It's called improvement or not. So now the Gemara says like this. See, he says, leave alach, but me and you, the rabbi says, that we're healthy people. So we're healthy people, so we don't have the chills, thank God. They don't have the other things they have, the sieges that they have, chas v'shalom. So can we leave? Good morning. Okay, tov. Can we leave the food on before Shabbat, on on the fire before Shabbat? So he says, Amalei, so Rabbi Yosef replied, Besura, in the city of Surah, Mashu, they did leave it. They left the food on the fire, and they ate it right because Besur Dahar of Nachma Yitzchak Moriduv Dahavid. He was very, very morning, David. He was very exact in his ways. He was very particular. He was very particular about the halacha. He knew exactly what was, very exact. He's someone to rely on. And they left food for him on a stove that the fire was still going. Now it's not clear, was the food fully cooked but just improving, right? That's what they left for him. Because again, if the food is fully cooked and not improving, that everybody says you can leave on an open flame before Shabbat, right? Fully cooked, not improving, you're not, and not only not improving, it's getting worse, it's deteriorating, you're not going to stoke it. to you, you're not going to stoke it. You're not going to stoke it, right? We're afraid David may come to stoke the fire. That would be a Melacha Shabbat. But if now, yes, if it's on open flame, you can't, if you take off, you can't put back. There are other issues. But the question is, can I leave food on an open flame before Shabbat if the food is fully cooked and deteriorating? The answer is yes. If it's getting worse, the longer it's on, it's cooking out, like you have a pot of soup that reaches a certain level of that now it's just, the longer you stay, you have no soup left. And every hour you're losing some, it's evaporating some of the soup. Some of you, okay, you want the soup well cooked, but once it reached that level of well cooked, now every minute, so you're fine. That's not the issue. The question is if it's well cooked, but it's getting better. It's fully cooked, but it's getting better. Maybe I'll stoke it because I want to, because it's improved. The more it's cooking, it's still improving. So that's the question. And here we see from in Surah that this rabbi, he actually left it on open flame. At least it was fully cooked. You could at least prove at least one point. He held fully cooked and it's improving. You can still leave it on the flame. He says that we're not afraid. You can come stoke the fire. This is one opinion that's not like we said. The halacha seems to go with the two ends. In Shulchan Aruch, there's two ends. It's not the middle on this one. It's either you could, once it's 50%, you could put it on the flame before Shabbat. You're good. Don't touch it. I mean, if you want, you take it off, but you can't pick it up and put it back on because it's not fully cooked yet, and you can't pick it up and put it back on even if it's fully cooked. You can't put it on open fire, right? But can you put it on if it's 50% cooked? Can you put it on it at 50% cooked? The halacha says one opinion. Halacha says yes, you can, and the other opinion halacha says no, unless it's 100% cooked and deteriorating. So we don't go with this middle.
We don't really talk about liquids here. They seem to be more lenient with liquids earlier, and we're more clear.
Right, because what Mark is saying, because liquids, when we're more strict about liquids, that's on the Shabbat. When we're doing something on the Shabbat, when it comes to doing something on the Shabbat, then there's something called bishul acha bishul, cooking after cooking. So a liquid that's already evaporated and it's already cold, now by putting it back on something, putting on a warmer or something that's going to cook it up. So even though it was already cooked, but we're more strict with liquid to look at it as if now you're really enhancing it by putting it back on the warmer, and that will be a problem of cooking. A dry food that's already cooked, we say once you cooked, you cooked. It's not a new nice expression, right? It's not another. He's down. I mean, it's over. It's over. And therefore, that's why it's not a problem of putting it.
It's the problem.
I think we have to look into it. I thought it's. What do we want? You didn't put the soup on. You didn't put it on the tray, right? We won't put the soup on the Shabbat. We won't take the soup out of the refrigerator and put it in the warmer, right? That's the problem because if it's going to reach level of, again, as long as it reaches a certain level of heat of cooking, if it could be cooked, if it has the level of heat that can cook. No, I'm saying if the warmer has the ability to cook, I mean, it has a level of heat that could. But I'm saying, but does it? I'm saying a lot of these warm. Yeah, it could, right? Have the. Oh, so you're saying maybe the salads you were allowed to do, but you had the potatoes and you had the potato soup, right? So would we say that the liquid is forbidden? We're always going to talk about it. If you went ahead and you did it, what's the status, right? From here until here, it sounds like it would be forbidden to eat the thing that you could not have put up before Shabbat. You would not be able to eat it on Shabbat. So now you did one act. Part of the act you can't eat the food. Now the other food. I mean, you're saying I had a right to put up the salads. It's a good question. You hear the question? I put up salads and liquid simultaneously. I had a right to put up the salads, but not the liquid. So now would we say that the salad is also forbidden to eat? Would you be able to just take out the salads and the liquid and eat the salads? That's Mark's question. Interesting question. Have a great day, everybody. They definitely discuss it. Everything is discussed.
I'm sure they do.
Morning. Thank you so much. Now, tomorrow, we'll do 7:45. Does that work for everybody? Because tomorrow's 7:30, 8:30 schedule. Okay. We'll miss you. Safe trip, everybody. Morning. Take care, Asaf.